"Surprise, daughter. You're not coming." That's what my father said at the airport. My boarding pass had been canceled. My suitcase, my dreams, left useless on the floor. And my family? They were laughing, recording me like a clown. My name is Amy Carter. I'm 34 years old. I work as a senior software engineer in Seattle. For years, I paid their bills. Their golf, their salon, my brother's tuition. $7,000 a month, gone from my account every month. I thought it was love. I thought it was family. Turns out I was just their ATM with legs. They thought I'd sulk at home, too embarrassed to fight back. They didn't know I was about to rewrite the rules. If you've ever been betrayed by family, this story is for you. Growing up, my family didn't celebrate milestones. They mocked them. On my 16th birthday, I thought I was finally getting a car. Dad blindfolded me, led me outside, the whole family cheering. When the cloth came off, there it was, a toy car. They laughed for weeks while I scrubbed tables to save for wheels. College wasn't different. They threw a party, promising the whole family they'd cover tuition. 2 weeks later, they called it a joke and handed me loan forms. I signed anyway. I'm still paying $42,000 in debt. That prank never left me. Neither did the bitterness. As I got older, the jokes stopped being harmless. They became habits, excuses, demands, masked as family love. My father quit working years ago, yet kept his golf club. $800 a month, for a man who never earned it again. My mother worked part-time, but her nails and hair were constant expenses. $600 to $900 every month from my account. And Alex, my brother, eternal student. 4 majors, 0 graduation. But his tuition? $9,000 each term, straight from my paycheck. They ate out, traveled, bought gadgets, lived like royalty. While I sat in a 1-bedroom apartment, driving a 10-year-old car. Nights were worse. Head pounding, blood pressure climbing, doctor warning me to slow down. I smiled in his office, but inside I wanted to scream. I was exhausted, yet I kept giving. Sometimes I'd come home, stare at the empty walls, eat dinner alone at a folding table. The silence suffocating. They lived loud, glittering lives, while mine shrank smaller every year. Kevin, my ex, once overheard them laughing behind my back. "She's such a sucker," they said, clinking glasses. I didn't believe him then. I defended them. Now I know he was right. I wasn't their daughter. I was the punchline that paid the bills. My life became a cycle of work, payments, and silence. 60-hour weeks blurred together. My apartment nothing more than a recharge station. I woke, coded, paid bills, collapsed into bed, then did it again. Every notification on my phone carried a price tag attached. Dad demanding his golf dues. Mom asking for her salon money. Alex pretending tuition emergencies were beyond his control. I told myself it was family. That someday they'd appreciate me. But deep down, the emptiness grew louder. The doctor called it stress. I called it love. Both were killing me. My body began to rebel. Headaches hammered behind my eyes. Blood pressure climbing too high. I lay awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling fan, wondering if all this sacrifice would ever mean something real. Meanwhile, Dad swung his golf clubs, Mom flaunted manicures, Alex partied. They lived in color while I withered in grayscale. I started dreaming of escape. Not forever, just 1 week of breathing. Hawaii became my obsession. Ocean waves instead of server alarms. Sunrise instead of Slack messages. For once, I wanted laughter without a bill attached. So I worked harder. Overtime, side projects, skipped lunches, caffeine replacing sleep. Every dollar went toward that trip. I spent $8,500 of my own savings for upgrades and extras. Premium flights, an oceanfront suite, even a surprise helicopter tour. I pictured us smiling together, finally a family, not a transaction. Maybe this vacation could fix what years of jokes had broken. Maybe I'd stop feeling like an outsider in my own bloodline. The night before we left, I stood in my tiny kitchen. Suitcase packed, boarding pass printed, alarm set for dawn. For the first time in years, I felt excited. I even whispered to myself, this could change everything. Maurice, my goldfish, floated lazily in his bowl. He was my only witness, my only constant companion. I promised him I'd bring back sunshine. That morning, we loaded into my dad's SUV, leased under my name. They joked about beaches. Alex glued to his phone as always. I stared out the window, imagining sand under my feet. For once, I believed I belonged. But as we reached the airport, unease crept into my chest. Dad and Alex exchanged strange looks, whispers I couldn't catch. Still, I pushed it aside, clinging to hope like a lifeline. Because what else did I have, if not hope? I had no idea the dream I built was already ashes. The check-in agent hesitated, tapping the keyboard again and again. Finally, she looked up with that careful, pitying expression. "I'm sorry, ma'am. Your reservation was canceled 2 days ago." Her words sliced through me. My pulse pounded in my ears, heat rising in my chest. I turned to my family, desperate for clarity. But what I saw gutted me. They were laughing. My father doubled over, clutching his side. My brother Alex grinned, phone pointed directly at my face. And my mother? She waved dismissively, eyes sparkling with cruelty. "Relax," she said, rolling her eyes. "It's just a joke. Don't be so dramatic." A joke. That's what they called this public humiliation. Strangers behind me shifted uncomfortably, watching my world unravel. I whispered, "I paid for the hotel, for the car, for everything." Dad clapped my shoulder like a buddy at a bar. "You work too much anyway. Thought you'd enjoy a little staycation." Alex laughed harder, muttering, "Loser," under his breath. He kept filming, making sure my humiliation lived forever on his feed. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Dad lit up. "The plane's not for you. Go on a train, loser." My chest burned. I wanted to scream, cry, beg them to stop. But all I could do was stand there, rooted to the spot. The agent cleared her throat. "Ma'am, I need to help the next customer. If you want to buy another ticket, customer service is over there." They didn't even look back. Their laughter trailed as they disappeared into security. My suitcase suddenly weighed 1,000 pounds. Every glance from the line behind me pierced deeper. I forced my legs to move, dragging myself away from the counter. The drive home was a blur, knuckles white against the steering wheel, tears threatening every blink, not just from the prank, but from the years leading to it. Years of being their wallet, their safety net, their fool. Back in my apartment, the silence felt crueler than ever. I dropped my bag and went straight to my computer. Banking app open. Transactions lined up like chains. Monthly transfer to my parents, $300-400. Alex's tuition, due next week, $9,000. Dad's golf membership, $800. Mom's salon fund, $750. On and on. Thousands bleeding out of me every month. I stared at the numbers until my vision blurred. Then for the first time I saw them clearly. Not as family support. Not as love. As exploitation. As chains. My hand didn't shake when I hit cancel. Alex's tuition, gone. Dad's golf, over. Mom's salon, finished. Emergency fund, password changed. Locked tight. Credit cards, their names erased. 15 minutes, that's all it took. 15 minutes to undo years of enabling. I leaned back, exhaling like I'd shed a mountain from my chest. For the first time in years, I felt something close to free. They canceled my flight as a prank. I canceled their lifeline for good. They came back early. I knew the moment my phone buzzed non-stop. Texts, missed calls, voicemails stacked like storm clouds. Then a knock rattled my apartment door. I opened it to 3 furious faces. My father stormed in first, slamming his carry-on on the floor. "You canceled everything," he shouted, voice shaking with rage. "My golf club emailed me. Do you know how humiliating that is?" Behind him, my mother followed, sunglasses perched like armor. Her voice trembled, but not from guilt. "You stopped the salon payments, Amy. How could you do that to me?" And Alex, my brother, eyes wide with panic. "My tuition's due. I'll get kicked out. You can't just cut me off." I leaned against the table, arms folded. Their words bounced off me like cheap bullets. "You left me stranded at the airport. You laughed in my face." My father's jaw tightened. "Don't exaggerate. It was a prank. You owe us. We raised you." Something in me cracked, then hardened. "No," I said steady. "I don't owe you anything anymore." My mother gasped, crocodile tears spilling instantly. "It was just a joke, sweetheart. We didn't mean it that way." Then came the guilt trip I'd heard my whole life. "After everything we've done for you." Dad growled. "You'd really abandon your family over one little prank?" Mom added softly. "We sacrificed for you. Don't throw us away now." Her voice was sugar, but the blade beneath was sharp. I remembered therapy with Dr. K. Her voice echoed, "Say no without apology. No without explanation." So I did. "No, Mom, no more." Alex stepped closer, desperation replacing arrogance. "Come on, Amy, don't do this, please, I need this degree." I laughed, but it wasn't warm. "Maybe you should earn it for once. Like the rest of us." My father slammed his palm on my coffee table. The sound jolted through the room, rattling my PlayStation controller. "We are your family. You're supposed to help. That's what family does." I stood tall, meeting his glare head-on. "Family doesn't humiliate each other. Family doesn't use each other. You've mistaken me for an ATM, that ends now. For the first time, they went silent. The weight of my words hung between us like heavy smoke. My mother sobbed. My brother's shoulders slumped. My father looked away. I grabbed my keys, walked to the door, heart hammering but steady. "Lock up when you leave," I said flatly. Then I looked back once, just once. "Good luck out there. You'll need it." In that silence, for the first time, I felt untouchable. The days after felt strange. My phone lit up with calls, texts, endless messages. Anger, guilt trips, begging, even threats to shame me publicly. I ignored them all. Weeks passed, and reality finally hit them. Without my money, their world shrank overnight. Dad sold his golf clubs and took a retail job. Mom traded luxury salons for discount chains, working longer boutique shifts. Alex left his private university, enrolling in community college instead. They hated every adjustment, but they survived. Turns out, they could stand on their own, once forced to. As for me, I started living for myself again. Headaches faded. My blood pressure dropped. I slept through the night without fear of another Venmo request. At work, my focus sharpened. My performance finally noticed. I earned a promotion, one I'd almost given up on. I joined a hiking group, met friends who knew nothing of my past. I started cooking again, filling my apartment with smells of real meals. Even Maurice the goldfish got company. A second bowl, a new friend. And yes, I began dating someone new. He doesn't see me as a wallet, but as a woman. The first time he insisted on splitting the check, I nearly cried. It felt revolutionary, after years of one-way giving. I even booked Hawaii again, this time alone. Watching the sunset over the ocean, I felt something new. Not sadness, not loss, peace. The helicopter tour I'd once bought for them became mine alone. The pilot asked if I was lonely, seeing paradise without family. I smiled, the answer rising effortlessly. Not at all. For the first time, I'm exactly where I belong. Dr. K calls it boundaries. I call it freedom. Because forgiveness doesn't mean surrender. Family without respect isn't family at all. Have you ever faced something like this? Tell me in the comments. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is simply say no before saying goodbye. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like. And share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Don't forget to subscribe for more true family betrayal stories. That reminds us we are stronger than we think.